today's programme, we're going to be talking about the foraging behaviour in crows.
The carrion crow, or Corvus coronae, is a bird belonging to the order Passiforme.
It has black plumage, a black bill, legs, feet and eyes, and no other coloured plumage on its body. Occasionally it will have a green-purple sheen.
It is predominant over the majority of West Scotland, England, Western and Central Europe.
Corvus coronae is a scavenger, obtaining a plethora of foods including grains, carrion, smaller mammals, bulbs and seeds, insects, and even have a taste for processed foods, and can readily be seen scavenging in bins as well as in forest and woodland areas. They have been known to bury food for later consumption.
Although usually solitary animals, they have been known to collect during winter roosts or team up to steal kills from larger predators.
We observed the foraging behaviour of crows in Seaton Park, Aberdeen, at noon on Monday the 25th of February, which was a sunny day.
Here's a clip of a crow that we have named Edgar, foraging for food. And that was Edgar the crow. Tinbergen developed 4 questions to help explain animal behaviour. These were function, causation, development and evolution. We will explain these further in the rest of the programme, but for now, here's Vicky.
All animals need to forage to eat. Some of us have it easier than others. We only have to go to our local supermarket in order to get what we need. But animals have to undergo a much more labour-intensive process, like Edgar, our crow. Edgar's ability to forage increases his fitness, and it also increases his ability to successfully pass on his genetic material to his offspring.
Thank you, Vicky. Now, what do you call a bunch of crows standing at the side of the road? An attempted murder. And now I'm joined by Ella. Ella, tell us a bit more about the cause of crow foraging behaviour.
Well, Rielly, the stimuli for the crows beginning to forage is the external environment, so a suitable place for them to find food, such as the grassland or the leaves with Edgar, or cropland with mice. However, there also needs to be an internal state, such as the need for food or hunger. Since this action needs the internal state to happen, then the action is said to be motivated. And to help explain the complexity behind motivation, we are going to use Lorenz's hydraulic model of motivation.
As you can see, there is water in the tank, or bucket in this case, which represents the action-specific energy, or energy needed to complete the act of foraging. Rielly's hand on the bucket represents the inhibition behind it tipping over as soon as there is any water in it, or to stop the action being carried out without the required energy to complete it. The level of energy or water will rise over time if the behaviour is required for is not being executed. This bucket or tank will eventually tip, overcoming the inhibition, and the action will move from the reservoir into this smaller bucket with holes in, or to the different aspects of foraging. This flow can also be increased by external pressure, such as Vicky pulling the string. This string being pulled represents the external stimuli that will motivate the bird to begin foraging, for example finding a perfect foraging spot or spotting an available food source. The energy flows into the bucket, which means the low threshold parts of the behaviour are expressed immediately. Then the higher threshold aspects are expressed if the level of energy is sufficiently high. In this example, the low threshold aspects would be eating what the bird prefers and what it could get the highest benefits from. The higher threshold activities would be eating whatever is available regardless of the energy benefits supplied by the food source or how difficult it is to obtain. So, if the bucket has been pulled by the string, or the action has been forced through without a lot of energy in it, then the bird will probably only be going for a particular food source and not just foraging for whatever it can to satisfy its hunger. The water flowing out of the smaller bucket is the act of satisfying these different thresholds of the activity.
That's very interesting, Ella.
Yeah, however, there are limitations to the model. It only really explains simple behaviours, such as feeding, but not things like aggression. And also it does not include a way to include feedback into the model, such as with learning. Also, on a more molecular level, dopamine, such as shown here, also plays a major role. It helps to focus behaviour when in high concentrations, so when Edgar was looking for a specific type of food.
Ah, very informative, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, what does a crow take to his workplace in a thermos? Coffee. And now I'm going to tell you a bit more about crows' foraging behaviour. All crows, like the vast majority of corvids, have an innate knowledge of how to forage. This is not taught. They have the ability to learn new behaviours and strategies from other members of Corvidae, and due to their high cognitive development, can exhibit complex behaviours. Edgar, in this footage, is exhibiting selective foraging, as crows have a specific diet and some prey items have higher nutritional value opposed to others. They have also been known to use tools such as sticks and rocks in order to obtain food, unlock cages, and even operate vending machines. They have been seen dropping nuts in Japan in order to open them on crosswalks or in roads. These behaviours are examples of the innovative and complex methods used to obtain goals. This complex behaviour is also shown in apes, namely chimps, and it is believed that convergent evolution in these traits has occurred. The evolution of intelligence shown by apes and corvids is expensive. Time spent learning could instead be spent towards reproduction. However, it is a valuable trait in environments that may be unpredictable. Similar selection pressures may have been placed on both crows and apes, and as of such, convergent evolution towards intelligence and problem solving is apparent. Crows also have been shown assessing problems before attempting to solve them, and engage in trial and error in order to reach goals. What do you call a mischievous egg? A practical yoker. Now, special guest Charles Darwin will tell us about the evolution of the foraging behaviour. Over to you, Charles.
Oh, hello there. I was just pondering about crow evolution of foraging behaviour. You see, I did think that it was all about my favourite topic, natural selection. After all, if a crow can forage better, then it has more chance of finding food in a shorter length of time. This means that it can spend more time on other things, like reproduction. However, there's another side to this story. You see, sexual selection for intelligence played a big role in foraging behaviour of crows. If a crow can forage better, then it's better at feeding its chicks, and so they're more likely to survive. Females want their chicks to be able to survive, obviously, so that they can go on to pass their genes on to the next generation. So they're more likely to select the males with better foraging abilities to mate with. And that's it. Bye guys.
Thank you, Charles. That was fascinating insight. And Charles' book, The Origin of Species, is out now, selling in all good bookstores. We hope you enjoyed our journey through crow foraging behaviour, and join us next week when we'll be discussing salmon jumping. Goodbye from all of us here at Animal Watch. Goodbye!